Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, welcome back to another high level game of StarCraft 2. Today in the bottom left as our red Terran playing for Team Mouse Esports, it is Hero Marine. And in the top right as our blue Zerg playing for Team Onsite and Team Vitality at the same time, it is Solar. As they Onsite, I think they have some type of partnership with Vitality. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I'm not even sure if the players quite know how it works, but it's like, it's a hybrid deal, basically. I think Onsite got bought by Team Vitality, which I think is a French team. Of course, this has everything to do with the fact that teams that participate in the Esports Cup, the Esports World Cup, I think it's called, that is being held in Riyadh. There's like team points, and also I think partner teams get a pretty significant amount of bonus for just signing a StarCraft 2 player. Thousands and thousands of euros or dollars or whatever currency they're being paid in. So just picking up a StarCraft player, even if they don't perform at the tournament, I think already has a major benefit. So that's why we're seeing all of these pickups from major teams that have the partnership with the Esports World Cup. I don't think I've ever gotten this many emails from teams with a very high profile as I had in the past 3 months. Even during the peak of StarCraft 2, I don't think StarCraft was this popular. Now, they don't want me to join their team, but they want some advice on who I think they should be picking up. So yeah, it's been a wild time. So we're gonna have a Reaper attacking these links here. First link's gonna go down. Hero Marine. One of the only players currently in the scene... What is this? Well, one of the only players currently in the scene, I was gonna say, that is very fond of playing MECH, while at the same time pretending that he's not a MECH player. He's sold the world the lie that whenever he plays MECH, he's just trolling or just testing things out. And then whenever I see him play tournaments, all he does is play freaking MECH. Specifically in this matchup, the Terran versus Zerg matchup, of course, is what we're talking about here. So we have a second cast. This still could be bio. I mean, he can play bio, but I feel like I'm not sure if he's better with MECH, but it feels like MECH is just better and just a bit easier to play. And also, not a lot of other Terrans do play it, and that by itself is valuable. I think that's something that is underrated altogether. I had the privilege of, for a very long time, being one of the only players that consistently played Phoenix Colossus. And at that time, I really think Phoenix Colossus was very, very good. No one else was playing it. And so not only was it good, but also the Terrans had very little practice against it. The only way to practice against Phoenix Colossus was by playing against me, and there were a couple of 6K players that were doing it as well. So that wouldn't have been the greatest practice. It really helps in a matchup if you're the only person doing a certain thing. It's very difficult to have that privilege when you're a top player, though. It is extremely rare because people will just copy you, right? One of the only situations in which this is currently happening is MaxSpecs in his Protoss versus Protoss, where he is the only player at high level that consistently plays one gate expand and gets away with it, gets ahead with it. So yeah, it's an interesting setup. We have a third gas, by the way, so it's indeed going to be MECH. This can technically be scouted by Solar, and I think Solar is somewhat aware of it right now. He saw the lack of any Hellions here being built, which is weird. No tech lab on the barracks. This is not 100% scout. Ideally, you get to sacrifice a Ling, and you see these refineries right now, but it's indicative of being a little, a bit of a Mechy taste in my mouth is what I get from this. That's all I'm gonna say. As these Hellions are gonna commit, not really gonna get anything done. 4 cars go down, 6 Lings and 1 drone. Very good trade. At the same time, 2 more cars are gonna move in here. They might be a little bit more successful. No, they weren't. What did they? I guess 4 Hellions for 6 Lings and 1 drone, or 2 Hellions for 1 drone. I guess both trades are god-awful. So they'd be rated 1 star. You know, this is like going to a restaurant and then getting food poison, being sick for 6 days. And then you go to another restaurant and you get food poison and you're sick for 7 days. It's like, yeah, technically one was slightly worse than the other, but it both freaking sucked. And you're probably not going to visit that restaurant again. And I don't think Hero Marine, if he thinks back of these trades, will think back of them fondly. That would be That would be a surprise to me, at least. So we have this second factory popping out. Sorry, the third factory popping out, as well as the Banshee Speed, the Hyperflight rotors. Funnily enough, this is the style that honestly made quite a splash last Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Or, well, it didn't make a splash, but it became very popular just before Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. With the Zerg players even calling an emergency meeting during Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. I was honored to be part of that Zerg Cabal meeting. I shared this story before, but basically what happened is I think it was the night before the tournament. All the Zergs got called down to the player hotel restaurant. The hotel restaurant had closed already. They're sitting in semi-darkness. A glass of water in front of every one of them, because all the Zergs are very healthy. They sat there discussing for a solid 45 minutes what the optimal solutions are to the Cyclone play, the Banshee into Cyclone play. It was surreal. All of the top 4 Zergs were there. Cyril, Raynor, Lambo, Scarlet, Laser. I think that's covered pretty much everyone there. Yeah. Wild stuff. And then it didn't really perform very well. Dark managed to take care of it without being a part of the meeting, because he took out Clem, I think, last year at Katowice. And now, just before Katowice, we see Hero Marine still being a big fan of this. Solar attempting a queen drop, but there's a bunch of Banshees out here. And with 4 Banshees against 4 queens, if you can't transfuse that first queen, that might actually be an issue, as the damage output of these Banshees is phenomenal. Ravagers here in the back are just not fighting much of anything. More Banshees are showing up, as Hero Marine is gonna hold this relatively easily, honestly. He lost 2 Banshees, but he killed 4 queens. This was a great trade for him. He's going to be taking out a couple of these Overlords as well. And this is one of these builds that Hero Marine has lost to in the past, against Solar specifically as well. But in this case, he's going to hold without any major trouble. Didn't take any worker damage. Now he's going to lose another Banshee on the other side of the map, which is kind of sloppy. We have an Infestation Pit going up behind all of this for Solar. And this is probably not for Infestors. I do believe that this is going to be for a Hive, as we see Evo Chambers just now going down. We see a Hydra then going down as well. So I'm really getting these Roach, Hydra, Viper type of plays here. These vibes are kind of coming out of Solar's direction here. You know, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Just these Viper-based plays. And it can be good against Cyclones. You know, you can grab 4 or 5 Cyclones if you have 3 or 4 Vipers every single time. That is serious damage. And once you can get to these Cyclones, they're not that strong. The power of the Cyclone is that they can run away really quick while shooting as well. Well, we're actually going to see 1 Infestor as well as a Burrow being researched. Solar quickly droned up to 84. Hero Marine already SCV'd up to 85 as well. So both players here at a relatively high worker count. As this Changeling squad is making its way across the map. 5th base on the way here for Solar, straight up trying to get into 10 gases while continuing to pump out workers. Hero Marine seems to be at least a little bit. This is not a full transition into the tanks, because there's still a lot of Cyclones out. We have Hellions as well, so there's still some map control. But we're just building some tanks perhaps for safety. And there are 2 squads on the map currently. We have the 4 Banshee squad, which is going to take care of these 3 queens. I don't think more than 1 Banshee is going to fall here. This base actually might be in trouble. Queen count is only 3 in total right now. I mean, that means that this base actually could be in a little bit of trouble. Hydras are popping out right now. With 8 Hydras, you should be capable of defending this. At the same time, we see Solar being on the map, which is a bit of a surprise to me. Feels scary. No Overseer here either. Hero Marine's gonna start shooting these roaches. Gonna switch the attention over to the Hydras. We'll get at least 2 Hydralisks. Maybe we'll get all 4. Is gonna get, yep, all 4 Hydralisks. 1 more Hydra coming in from the back is not gonna get targeted down. Feel like these Cyclones could have been doing something during all of this, whether that's poking on the left side or moving towards the right. Feels like there's a lot of space on the map that is not being utilized, and it should be getting utilized here by Hero Marine. Ooh, it feels like Hazmat. Look at that, 98 workers. He's gonna go up to freaking 100 SCVs here, as he's adding in more and more command centers. The thing with such a style is, though, with high worker styles, and that's something you can't really forget, is that you want to be trading fairly consistently. And that's something that Hero Marine actually hasn't been doing. He hasn't been trading at all. He's just sitting back. He's getting a lot of money. But the problem is if you're maxing out with 100 workers, is that you only have army supply of 100 as well. So, not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of the way he's executing here. I do like the strategy. Cyclones are being pulled in. We have, once again, a Banshee attack coming in towards the far left side. Queen's not quite in position. Hydra's not in position. And now we are seeing some Queens move over indeed. Greater Spire is on the way behind all of this. Couple of Vikings starting as well. As the Hydra count is going to continue to grow. It's going to go up to a count of, what is that, 25? Yeah, 14 more Hydras on the way. 5 Corruptors as well here popping out. 8 more Corruptors popping out, and I think that's just going to be for a Broodlord transition. So this looks like a weird engagement that Solar is taking here, but Solar actually wants to trade out some Roaches so he can start his Broods. I think that is going to be the goal here for him. That Ghost Count is magnificent though. Gotta be real careful here. A couple of Snipes going down. Blinding Cloud doesn't work on spells like Snipe, as a lot of units here are gonna end up falling. Supply has been freed up though. That means that these Corruptors most likely turning right into Brutes as they arrive to this more central location. What is the overall Viper count? 0. So all Vipers went down. There's one Infestor still burrowed here as these Hydras are taking a freaking beating against the Ghost. That was not great at all, as a lot of Hydras there went down. Overall, resources lost 13k to 10k. Snipes not quite going off in the end. 5 base versus 5, but the overall orbital count should be kind of high. Yeah, we're at 7 already, with 4 more bases on the way. This is a command center that's going to fly over, turn into a planetary. So 6 base mining, technically, is going to go up to maybe 11 orbitals, or at least 10 orbitals. We have a fusion core on the way. We have a second starport. Upgrades are lacking behind a little bit. I feel like Hero Marine could have been quicker with that. He hasn't been. There's nothing he can do about that now. As, what's the Viking count? That we're at 4 Vikings. There's no Viper. So, honestly, Viking Ghost should be an Oakley composition defensively here. I'm having a difficult time seeing how Hero Marine is going to die. I don't think it's quite possible, as we see a couple of Snipes going down. Brute count, first one goes down. Viking count still alive and kicking. We've seen some target fire here on Overseer, which seems like a mistake, if anything. And the ground army has largely disappeared. Good tank target fire. I'd love to see just a couple more snipes just on the same group though, rather than splitting these snipe fires. Splitting snipe fire is good if you have way too many ghosts, because then you can clear multiple units at the same time. This actually was a pretty sloppy defense here, coming out of Hero Marine. He took way more damage than I think he should have, and then I thought he would. The first Thors now are out. Are they in the correct mode yet? I'm not so sure. I don't think they are. Okay, they're instantly turning into the correct mode. And with Thors against Brutes, you're going to be having a very good time, especially if these Brute Lords don't have any upgrades and your Thors do. We see the Brute Lords falling at a pretty high pace. Ghost count is going lower and lower. There's no real tanks in the back. There's still one here in the far back. 21 kills, 7 HP remaining. Liberators definitely helping out. Ghosts get picked up. Good control there out of Hero Marine. These were some low ghosts. They are going to survive as the lip in the back is providing at least a little bit of zoning here. Final Brute Lords will fall. Can we get a pickup? Yes, with one of these Thors going into the medevac. One of them will survive, but this base might just end up dying, as I don't think there's any repair available. The Hydra damage output is probably... Oh, it's actually not going to be enough. I thought it was going to be high enough, but... I mean, if Solar turns around, it doesn't matter how high your damage output is. Solar, though, low in army value, very low in bank, as it's non-existent, and his income is also worse than his opponent due to the fact that mules exist, and the fact that we have freaking 14 orbital commands at this point, or however many we have. And we have 10 orbital commands currently, yeah. Thor's gonna get pulled in forward, so is this tank, but I think with, well, actually, it's Ghost available. It might still be hard. I like that we're building tank Hellbat purely. Or tank Hellion, I guess it is, but you'll just turn them into Hellbats the moment they finish up anyway. This orbital command will fall to the Hydras. That's -1. And bring the total back down to 9. The new one is being constructed instantly. Tanks will help. I think this is a bit too far forward. Lip in the back. Does it even have advanced ballistics? It doesn't. That is quite frustrating here. There's one more tank is going to end up falling, and this is the saddest way to die here for Hero Marine, I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't deserve to go down like this. He needs to just kind of set himself up again. I feel like we had a Viper produced somewhere. Where are you? Okay, 2 Vipers over here. And with Vipers, there's actually... I think it's viable to try and kill that base. I love this Hellion run by. I think this is such a good call. This is such a good call. It distracts your opponent at least a little bit. It takes some attention away, relieves some pressure. This planetary is going to end up falling. That's frustrating because there's really not that much that Hero Marine can do about it. At the same time, it permits Hero Marine to try and take this base again. It's going to probably mule it up pretty good. We have 6 tanks. We have 7 ghosts. What do we have in production right now? I think there are 4 barracks total, no? Yeah, 4 barracks, 5 factories. Production-wise, not phenomenal. Like, it's not brilliant. It's good enough. But that's really all it is. Tanks are going to be sieging up. Lightning Cloud going to hit at least one of these tanks. Duck's doing a lot of work as well here. We can continue pushing into this though. The tank setup is pretty gnarly. Feels like Solar pushed a bit too hard there, yeah. There are still 3 tanks on the high ground and the ghosts are still around as well. This was a really good fight for Hero Marine, who so far, honestly, has barely been trading efficiently. Just a little bit better than his opponent. Just a little bit. It's not quite what you expect from someone playing Ghost Tank so early on in the game, is that they're going to be trading this poor. Hero Marine here also without any +3 upgrades. Doesn't have +3 vehicle weapons, nor +3 vehicle planing. Hasn't continued upgrades for the Ghost either. And so once again, we're going to have a little fight. The Hellions didn't morph into Helbets quite yet. We'll still take care of these links. For the first time in a while, Hero Marine here with a higher supply count as well as a bigger bank than his opponent. These 10 orbitals are really putting in work because it allows him to just mine so much freaking money. And if he ever gets to establish a new base, it immediately becomes a top priority for Solar to try and deny it. Because if mules mine from a new base, even if it's just for like a minute and a half, that is like 5-6k mineral. Wow, no, that's crazy. That's like maybe 3k minerals or so you're getting from that base. It's really a lot of money you can get with mules. It is crazy, I tell you. Crazy, son. And so lips are out. Still no advanced ballistics. Now we get the +3 vehicle plating on the way. And Hero Marine is going to be pushing on forward. Scans. Sees practically nothing. Once again gets caught without any Thors here as he sees these Broodlords moving in. He had a bad experience with that earlier and should probably just be pulling back, at least for a little bit. That's exactly what he's going to end up doing, as both of these lips are going to get pulled in and the Hydras will take him out. Where are these Thors? Okay, here they are. That's Thor number 1. We're going to continue Thor production. I think that's a very good call. I think it's the only right call. Hydra, Bane, Infestor, Broodlord, Viper. It is a tricky army to manage from the Zerg perspective. It's all going to be about fighting here. It's all going to be about fighting, so we're just going to keep an eye on that. No real harass or second group of Hellions on the map, nothing of the sort. That was a good start here for Solo. He gets a couple of big kills, grabs the first Thor. Continues moving in as these Banelings are going to get taken out. Fungal does hit. The tail end of that engagement not as good as the rest. Solar started mining from this middle base. That's an important one, as I'm loving this Hellion run by. I think this is absolutely correct. This is 100% just the right play. Yeah, it's not like, oh, this is correct. You have to send in these Hellion run bys. You're forcing out units. It makes it very difficult to defend these outside bases. Like you're just gonna force spine crawlers to be there, or roaches, or banelings to be pre-split, because links cannot deal with it efficiently. They just can't. And even this, despite this being cleaned up, was an efficient trade here for Hero Marine, who now is finishing up his advanced ballistics, who's increasing the number of Thors he has in his army. It's gonna go up to 7 against 9 Broodlords. What are we really missing here for Hero Marine? That's my question. I don't quite know what we're missing here for Hero Marine. He's gonna start moving in forward. Gets a couple of snipes. Overseers were in the back. Big blinding cloud is going to hit on top of that entire Tor force. Planetary helping out, attracting a lot of Broodlord fire here. Not sure if that's on purpose out of Solar, but it feels like had he pushed forward a bit more, that could have gone much, much better for him. Fungals are going to connect with all of these ghosts as Hero Marine doesn't quite micro them. Hellion flank coming in as well as a single Thor still on the far right. Thor now being pulled in forward. Gets the pickup on it as Brood dies. Snipes going down as well. Liberators unsieged, dishing out quite a bit of damage here. We'll take out 2 Broodlords. Another Thor shows up as Solar is just winning this fight. He's destroying. Oh, is he destroying it? I'm not sure. He's winning the fight though. The problem is, there is just one tiny little problem. And it's a very simple problem as well. Is that this base is still up. And I don't think Solar has enough to beat it up. He can't just walk over there and kill it. Not yet at least. And he has a single Brood. But the mining continues here for Hero Marine with his many orbitals. Yeah, as we have 3-4 more mules being thrown down all at once, it's going to massively increase the income here on this gold plus blue mineral base. I love this move, just moving towards the high ground. That's brilliant here by Solar, saying, hey, I don't think I can attack into it. What I think I can do is attack from behind it and deny your mining. And this is one of the only mining bases remaining. The other Marine actually feels like he is forced into attacking his opponent right now. This Planetary also is feeling quite low. It is running low on HP. It's being repaired by a lot of SCVs here. That's costing some serious cash though. Solar with a small bank. 162 supply. Army supply fairly close between the 2 players. Neural Parasite now on the way as tanks are being added back into the mix. Liberators, always good. Always supply efficient. Almost always supply efficient. Ooh, a couple of ghost snipes going down there. Once more, a Hellbat all attack. And I was going to say a Hellbat all in. This would be a weird timing for an all in. But a Hellbat attack right now towards the right side would be phenomenal. Like we're really missing that. This base needs to be contested just a tiny tad more. Ooh, I'm loving this Ling run by. Potentially going to get 1 or 2 tanks. Can we get the lift on the depot? No, we can't. But the second siege up there is big. It's going to keep that alive for just a little bit longer. Target fires on the Banes. Hero Marine is honestly getting a better trade here than I think he ever should have. And he ever thought he would as well. Tank on the high ground still helping out in a massive way. We'll take out these Banes. As the Ghost coming in from the side. Thor's marching over as well. Don't forget, we have these Neural Parasites available. We also still have Fungals available. Either can be used here. Fungal's gonna connect. We have 1 more Fungals. Going to hit big. Banelings have disappeared though. And 2 tanks in the back are pushing out a lot of damage. This army, once more, is gonna get pushed back. And Solar with supply of 140. No bank currently. Has been trading well throughout the game and has mined more than his opponent. His Hero Marine is honestly closing on just completely mining out this base. Solar's gonna take out these rocks as well as take this bottom side base. And this is a vital base here that Solar's gonna steal off of his opponent. Can't imagine a base more important. And Solar's gonna try and collapse onto this one. Might be an expensive little joke here, though, as he takes out 14 SCVs. That's nice, but it's going to end up losing a lot of Hydras. Base stays alive, and losing SCVs sucks. But you know what sucks more? Is that you can just throw down mules. There we go. 5 mules fall down from the sky from these, what is it? Still 9 orbital commands. We still have 1 command center just idling somewhere. That's over here. Okay. I like it. Hellbat production still increasing. We have a single Hellbat in this medevac. Could just drop back down here. As these 4 Hellbats are going to be taking out that hatchery. Thor count is good. Tank count not good enough. It's a single Hellbat with the help of the medevac. It's actually it's capable of fighting that queen. It's pretty cool. That's neato. Yeah, and there goes some Hydras. Double lip, double Hellbat. Pretty powerful, huh? This is one of the only remaining bases left for Solar. He has 2. He has the right side, although we have, I think, 2 patches are gone already. A 3rd and a 4th patch are soon to follow. So this base is just freaking important, really. I can't imagine a base that is more important. As 14 drones go down, I think Solar is slowly but surely just kind of bleeding out. It's going to be incapable of even targeting down at Lib at a high pace. Going to get it eventually. Had to use a fungal for it as well. It's not like we're saving up 10 fungals here. No, he has like 2 infestors with a fungal and a half remaining on him. Liberator sieging up as well, as the Thors are going to be moving towards the left side of the map. Tanks chilling near that planetary. Ooh, there's no way to evacuate these Thors. That actually is frustrating and a mistake out of the Terran player here. More and more libs here being sent in. 4 Hellbats, gonna take out the topside base. I don't actually think that Hero Marine is in much of a hurry, as long as this base ain't mining, which right now it isn't. I'm looking at this, yeah, he's just gonna fly over his own orbital command towards his topside. Now, a lot has been mined from it, especially the 1 gas. But the minerals are still remaining. Which is kind of a big deal. We're heading into the early stages of the ultra late game. We're leaving the super late game. There's a progression of the game. From mid game into the early late game, into the late game. And then the late game. Then the super late game. And now we're heading slowly but surely into the ultra late game, where resources are, you know, scarce. They ain't there. That's what I'm trying to say, alright? Freaking English. Crap language. Can't speak it. Yeah, Mule's being dropped down here. I think that's gonna be the nail in the coffin for Solar. It's kind of sad. I always feel for this type of game, where you have a game that's really back and forth the entire time, and then in the end, it just kind of, it's done. There's no juice in it anymore, you know? You sometimes have them where you're squeezing a lemon, you know, or a lime, or an orange, or whatever you squeeze. And then at some point, it's just empty. And it feels like you're just having such a good time squeezing that thing. I was like, eh. Especially if you have like little wounds on your fingers, it hurts. In a good way, you know? Yeah, lime juice. Love it. It's one of those feelings that doesn't really hurt, you know, if you get lime juice in a wound. It's an unpleasant feeling, but you know that it's for the better. You can feel that it has healing properties. I'm not sure if it actually has healing properties, but it feels like it does. And if you truly believe that lime juice has healing properties, yeah, you can put it anywhere, mate. I had a knee injury for a while. I've been putting lime juice on it for years now. It's getting better every year. Oh, yes, so I'm gonna try one more time. It's gonna actually get a pretty decent fight here to start with. We're gonna get another fungal. Hello, Hero Marine. Hero Marine forgot that micro in his unit might have been a good call. Is still gonna win this fight though. Holy crap, that was an attempted throw. 2 more brutes on the way. This is probably the final overseer that's in this army. We have a base down here too. Do we have any type of anti-air? I can't believe how close this game is getting. Hero Marine is giving up mining as a concept. And this base is still being mined from. I mean, if Hero Marine doesn't start mining, he could still lose, technically. We have 2 Brute Lords. This Overseer is so freaking important right now. Spore's moving in forward. There's no anti-air to deal with these Liberators. This game's turned crazy. We have entered the super ultra late game right now with snipes going down on these final Brutes. 1 Ghost is gonna get taken out. This game is insane. What the heck? I thought it was over. WW. Well, it is over. This got so freaking close, though. There were a couple of Vikings that just got pumped out, so that's something. Oh my god. That fight in the middle that Hero Marine took all of a sudden was so bad. Solar almost managed to take back this game. Take back his homeland. But he wasn't capable of doing that. But boy, did it get close. Man, That was a fun game. Thought there was a little bit of juice left in that line, but the line was empty. My knee injury will remain. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And that's going to be it. Please tell me how to pronounce the word scarce resources in the comments. Phonetic symbols only. Love you all. Bye-bye.